Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new here. I'm Death by Pony, and last we left off we were getting close to the end of the class trial to figure out how Makumura died. So without further ado, let's hop into this. And in we go. Oh my back.
Is that the same wire that was tied around Nekomaru?
The tip of that wire was tied into a loop. If the elevator moved while that loop part hung from the doorknob...
If they did something like that, he would have been suspended in midair!
That's right. He was suspended in midair.
Huh?
The killer tied up Nekomaru with the wire while he was in sleep mode. Tied the tip of the wire into a knot and hung it on the doorknob to the 4th floor. With that, they moved the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor of Grape Tower. And suspended Nekomaru in midair.
That's right! He was so well hung! Kinda like...
You better not finish that sentence!
Rude.
The killer took advantage of the elevator's unique feature. Only the floor moves. By doing that, they created a drop so Nekomaru could fall to his death.
Too easy.
Well, I'm sorry, not everything has to
What
be
if they
hard.
created a drop? There's no way you can make him fall and die with just that.
Why?
If Nekomaru is suspended in midair like that, then how do you get him to fall? Because if he's suspended in midair, he won't die if he doesn't actually fall.
I'm thinking it's that.
Even if they suspended Nekomaru, how would they make him fall? There's no one in the tower to push him off. There's no way they could do that.
It doesn't mean someone had to push him off. It's possible that he fell on his own.
What? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right?
Allow me to cut through those words!
Ooh, yeah.
What do you think would happen if Nekomaru woke up while he was suspended upside down in midair?
What are you saying? Like, how would he even wake up?
He has an alarm inside his body. As long as it was armed, it would have deactivated his sleep mode. Which means the killer set the alarm before they suspended Nekomaru.
If you woke up from an alarm and realized you were hanging upside down and had no clue why... If something like that happened to you, you would start panicking a lot, right?
Well, duh, I don't imagine many people wouldn't. Even if he was a robot, he still didn't know why he was there.
Instinctively, your body would start moving. Nekomaru probably did exactly that.
And then, in order to make him fall from the force he was generating, the wire was hung on the tip of the doorknob so it would easily slip off. In actuality, the scrape marks caused by the wire were near the tip of the doorknob, right?
But Nekomaru didn't fall because the wire came off, right?
He fell because the entire doorknob came off.
When Nekomaru awoke, he must have struggled much more than expected, which caused the doorknob to break off.
Was that unexpected for the killer too?
Well, that's probably it. If they knew it'd leave behind evidence like that, they would have at least tried to do something to cover it up.
The killer didn't expect the doorknob to come off. The reason that even happened was because... In that case, I'll use my full power. With fierce roar, Nekomaru pulled all his power into grabbing the doorknobs with both hands, but... Clutter, 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 clutter. Not yet. Here it comes. The incredible strength of 1,000,000 horsepower. Ugh, wait, it's creaking. You'll break off the doorknob. We'll be stuck here. That's really what it was. Then that's the clue Nekomaru left for
I
us to
see.
find.
So that's how Nekomaru fell to his death.
Do you finally understand now?
Yeah. It appears it's just as Miss Sonia said. I'm just a pest. No, I'm not just a pest. I'm a total fucking pig.
Finally, he admits it. He's even pink like one.
Isn't that right, Miss Sonia? If I'm a fucking pig, you can say so.
I don't like where this went.
No, I believe you gave your all.
Hey, why aren't you teasing me anymore?
This guy. He gave gets off on this?
That's what I was thinking.
So thanks to that alarm, Nekomaru ended up falling while he was still hanging upside down. That doesn't mean he just crashed straight into the floor. Of course, you know that too, right?
Doesn't mean Nekomaru crashed straight into the floor. Though Nekomaru fell to the floor, the only thing I can think of that happened was collided with the pillar.
I see!
When Nekomaru fell to the floor, he ended up colliding with the pillar. Isn't that it?
Finally, the pillar!
So that's how the pillar shattered, and why oil was spilled all over the place.
See, I told you the pillar was the weapon. My gut was totally right.
Well, the pillar was a bonus. It's not even clear if the killer intended that, or if it was just a coincidence.
At this point, it is quite difficult to find a clue that will lead to the killer.
Then what about the alarm? I'm positive the alarm was set for 7:30 a.m. And if we map it out from there...
Hold on, baby gangsta.
Stop calling me baby gangsta!
What'd you just say? Did you say the alarm was set for 7:30 a.m.?
You didn't check it yourself? Nekomaru's alarm was set for 7:30 a.m.
Or PM.
Nah, that's impossible. 'Cause even though I slept in a little, I still got to the tower at 7 in the morning.
Now that you mention it, so did I. There was no way I could be late for Monokuma Tai Chi, so I left for Grape Tower before 7 a.m.
And if we found Nekomaru's body there, it would have been before the 7:30 a.m. alarm went off.
It appears yet another contradiction has been birthed. How were you able to discover Nekomaru died at 7:30 a.m. when you went to the tower at 7?
That's what I want to know!
Another mystery I don't understand. Seriously, it's just one after another. But I can't choke it up at a time like this. Just a little more and I'll be able to reach the truth. There should definitely be a clue to break through this contradiction. Set to PM.
We headed for Grape Tower before 7 a.m., I am certain.
But the alarm inside Nekomaru's chest was set for 7:30 a.m.
Nekomaru died because of that alarm, right?
His time of death and the time the body was discovered. One of those must be an illusion.
The killer probably did some tampering. They probably messed with the clock inside Neko...
No, that's wrong!
They couldn't have.
No, the clock inside his chest was a radio clock, so it would have been...
So you're saying there's no way the killer could have tampered with the clock?
Maybe the clock Miss Sonia saw was the one that got tampered with.
The clock inside Grape House?
No, I checked all the clocks inside the funhouse.
Oh, that's what I asked you to do. So you really listened to me and checked all the clocks.
And because of that, I can confidently declare that all the clocks had the same time displayed.
If there's no possibility that the time was tampered with, then we must doubt that human's testimony.
Please believe me, we are not lying.
Then maybe it's a misunderstanding?
I never misunderstand. I'll crush you into dog food.
This time-related contradiction, I don't think I should doubt the testimony. I should doubt the clock. There's no mistake that something was done, but what was it? Perhaps we've overlooked something, maybe we were misunderstanding something. Which clock was messed with? How was it messed with? And why didn't we realize it? I think if I focus and think, I should be able to find the answer to that mystery. Fun. How did I know this was coming? Now, it would help if I was paying attention to the screen and not the clock. Why did Hajime and the others misunderstand? Wait a minute. time. The time in the building. It's basically just like, think about it and confirm. That way we know you're understanding what we're saying. Oof, I did not like that. Which clock was tampered with? The building, which is yellow. Means I'm good right here. Lovely. Which house had the wrong time? Both. Oh, thank God.
It's all coming together.
Booyah.
You said you checked all the clocks inside the building. Isn't that right, Fuyuhiko?
Yeah, none of the clocks had the wrong time.
But what if all those clocks have been messed with?
What? All the clocks?
So even if you checked all the clocks inside the building, there's no way you'd have noticed it.
I see. So the killer messed with the time inside the whole building by changing all the clocks.
So that's what it was. There's no way I would have noticed that.
This is truly fantastic!
Now's not the time to be pleased. More importantly, how much was the time off?
She's right. That's the main problem. How much of the time off after the killer messed with the clocks? There's something that could be used as a standard for measuring time that could be the clue. I need to find that. I'm going to reach the truth in one go.
If the time in the building was all messed up, then we can only rely on Nekomaru's radio clock.
The time of death was clearly 7:30 a.m.
The problem is, what time in our time?
Are there any clues that can be used to narrow that down? If only I heard the sound when he fell.
Damn it!
You need to wait just a little longer, probably.
If the time in the building, then we can only rely. The time of was clearly 7:30 a.m.
The problem is, what time would 7:30 be in our time?
Are there any clues that can be used to... If only I heard the sound when he fell, it would have been a great clue.
Or his scream.
He's not the type to let out a scream.
If only Nekomaru's alarm was loud enough. We would have heard it too.
There's no point in saying that. If does not exist in this world.
If the time in the building was all messed up, then we can only rely on Nekomaru's radio clock.
The time of death was clearly 7.
The problem is, in our time.
Are there any clues that... If only I heard this, it would have been a great...
Or his scream.
He's not the type to let out a
The
scream.
time of death was clearly 7:30 a.m.
The problem is, what time would 7:30 in our time?
Are there any clues that can be used to narrow that down?
If only I heard the sound when he...
She
I
heard.
agree with that.
She heard it, bitch.
That's right. We should have heard the sound he made when he fell. Wasn't it that rumbling noise?
Rumbling?
I thought it was just an earthquake, so I went back to sleep. Was that the sound from when Nekomaru fell?
Well, A huge body fell from the 4th floor to the 1st, and the pillar fell with it. It's obvious we'd hear the impact sound.
We heard that noise too.
It was when we were gathered at the Strawberry House Lounge. What is it, Sonia?
Oh, well. That sound everyone heard? I did not hear it at all.
Huh?
You probably didn't hear it because you were sleeping.
I could not sleep at all. I was awake the whole night with hunger pangs.
There's nothing to worry about. What's important is that rumbling noise anyway.
If we use that rumbling sound as a reference, we might be able to figure out how much our time was off.
I heard that sound probably around 5:30 in the morning.
Huh? You can tell?
I instantly woke up and left my room. And that's when I saw the clock in the lounge.
Excellent work, Akane!
The rumbling sound we heard was at 5:30 a.m. It's likely to know how much time was off. So it was at 5 and we had to be there at 7. That's 2 hours.
I see!
Nekomaru's alarm went off at 7:30, and if we heard the sound of his impact at 5:30, that means our time was off by 2 hours.
2 hours? That much?
We were starving pretty badly. There's no way we would have noticed.
Plus, the funhouse has no windows. And there weren't any Monokuma announcements either.
However, for what reason did the killer alter our perception of time?
The reason is obvious. So they can lure out just Nekomaru.
Lure out only
If you messed
Nekomaru?
with the clocks and used a specific thing, you definitely get Nekomaru to the tower alone, right? From there, the killer's plan was a splendid success. That's all it means.
Besides messing with the time, the killer also used a specific thing. If they were trying to lure out Nekomaru, then what that specific thing is. I mean, only Nekomaru would have known what time it actually was. The specific thing is the killer used was Monokuma Tai.
I see!
That's it. The killer made use of the Monokuma Tai Chi activity in the morning.
How did they use it?
We were required to go to Grape Tower every morning at 7 a.m. for that activity, right? But if they mess with all the clocks inside the building, what would that do to us?
We wouldn't be able to attend on time, but that wouldn't affect Nekomaru. His radio clock had the exact time.
That's right. In doing so, the killer was able to lure him to the tower by himself at the precise time.
Then, when I witnessed Nekomaru early in the morning,
It was on time.
If I recall, you witnessed Nekomaru around 5 a.m. And if that time was also 2 hours off, it should have been 7 a.m. Yeah, that's pretty much it. At that time, he was heading over to Monokuma Tai Chi, right on schedule.
I see. Now that I think about it, I realize what Monokuma meant when he said those words.
Too early. He didn't even ask you yet.
Jeez, how outrageous. I honestly didn't expect everybody to ditch Monokuma Tai Chi. But it turned out like this after all, so I guess it can't be helped.
When you said everyone, you were including us, right? We thought we came to the tower on time, but in truth, it was way past the meeting time.
Ah, jeez. That's, well, how should I put it? What was it? You know, tripping over a foot or something like that.
Are you talking about tripping over someone else's fault?
Wrong! Too bad.
Liar! I'm right!
That's not it. It's incorrect.
That's definitely the correct answer. You always get so stubborn like this.
Let's just ignore the peanut gallery. Now that we've found out how the killer lured Nekomaru, the number of suspects has drastically decreased.
Huh?
Hey, why would that decrease the number of suspects? Don't be a friggin' liar!
You'll know I'm not lying when you listen to what Fuyuhiko's going to say next.
huh? What the hell do you mean?
You witnessed Nekomaru going toward the tower. Did something else happen after that?
Are you talking about that alarm?
Alarm?
A little while after I witnessed Nekomaru, the clock in the Strawberry House lounge started going off. Plus, it was just before that rumbling sound occurred. That's it. So that's what it is. If Nekomaru died when the rumble happened, then whoever doesn't have an alibi at the time is the prime suspect.
Really? Was there anyone who didn't have an alibi at that time?
I remember now. The sound was so loud I couldn't help bolting from my room. But there was one guy who never left the lounge. We were both on the same floor. It's pretty weird that bastard never came out of his guest room.
Which means that person does not have an alibi for when Nekomaru fell?
Who is it? Who's the bastard?
Whoever doesn't have an alibi for that time, right? Okay, wait. I want to review. Okay, so let's see here. Gunham was there. He was there. I think he was. I know Kazuchi was there, but he was on the other. I think Gunham actually wasn't there. I was aware that the lounge clock was ringing after all. I rushed over there, didn't I? And then when the rumbling occurred soon after, I was with the others in Nekomaru. Would you call that an alibi? You're right. Hey. I was right, Gunham was there. He was holding the clock. Nagito?
You're the only one!
I figured.
The one who wasn't there. It's you, right, Nagito?
I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, remember to hit like. That way I know you're enjoying the content I'm making. Remember to hit subscribe. That way too, YouTube brings you back here to see what happens next. I won't take up any more of your time. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.
How it's supposed to feel.